Hi guys, in today's video I'm gonna show you how to turn your engine from looking like this to looking like this using very simple tools and solutions. I'm Joe and welcome to Gear Culture. As you can see, this engine bay is pretty filthy, full of dirt. We have some engine oil leaks and yeah, dirt all over the place. This has been pretty much slightly more than a year since this engine bay was last washed, and now it's full of dust. I stay in a country, rather in a city, I would say, that has 30% of its roads paved. Fortunately for me, my daily commute to work is about 14 kilometers, and it's only 500 meters where I do not have paved road. And well, I wouldn't say this is where all that dirt came from, but from time to time, you find yourself driving on roads that have a bit of dirt on the side, and all that gets kicked up. And what doesn't help is the fact that I don't have an under tray under this engine. So most of the dirt really finds its way up here. And well, we have to clean this off so that we can, one, be able to identify leaks like this one here and many others. So some of them I can't even tell where they're coming from because, well, the oil is all over the place. We want to clean that down. Two, it's going to help with cooling the engine better. So with less dirt covering the engine, it cools way much better. And three, it looks neat. You know, when you open up an engine bay and everything looks nice in there, it's very satisfactory to look at. So we're going to start off by trying to get all the loose dirt off, because we have quite a lot of dust. Yeah, that. So we're going to start off by blowing off most of it, the loose one, so that it goes off. Then we'll go ahead and cover up all the very important places, the places that are sensitive, like the alternator. We have the ECU right in here, so we're going to make sure that we do not try to pour water here as much as possible. And we'll pick up all other things, like, for instance, we have leaves in here. We'll be throwing those out as well. And let's get started. So to get our work done, we're going to use some few brushes here. These are tire brushes, but I'm going to repurpose them for helping me wash on the inside with some detailing brushes. Then we have our microfiber towels. We have a blower to blow off much of the dust that we have in there. Then we have two types of degreasers. We have a solvent-based degreaser and a water-based degreaser. The difference between the two is that this one contains a solvent. It's very, very harsh. We're going to use it to loosen the tough grime in the engine. Then we'll use the water-based one to spray through the rest of the engine and wash it down. You do not want to use this for a very long time because it's very aggressive on rubber and plastics. This one is pretty much safe, and this one doesn't leave a greasy residue, while this one leaves a bit of a greasy residue. So we're going to use this to break down the stubborn dirt. Then we'll use this one to finish off the rest of the car. We'll start off by using this bad boy here to blow out as much dust out of this thing as possible. I'm not wearing a mask, but I can brave it anyway. This alone has really reduced a lot of the dust that was in the engine bay, so it's going to make our work way less messy. We're not going to have a lot of caked or rather pasty mud in here. We have cleaned out most of the loose dirt. The next thing we're going to do is try and clear out the edges in the engine bay, because that's where the water drains in. Usually we have some things that fall in there. We can as well get those out of there before we get the whole engine bay wet. You want to go into these corners. There's always a drain hole, and it sometimes gets to hold loose leaves and pieces of dirt that could potentially fall in this drain. So you carefully pick it out from there without dropping the dirt in there. As you can see, we have some things that could have gone down this channel, down there, the drain hole, but this strainer holds them out. So we'll get that out. Make sure you place it back in the right way. You don't want it to just fall in there anyhow, because it could not work properly if you don't put it in properly. you may find that it will let in sticks in there. So with that one done, let's do the other one as well. You can see this one has a lot of leaves in here, so we'll carefully get this out as well. Make sure we don't drop any leaves in there in the process. Next, I'll get to remove this bit. Why? Because you want to get access to this other section in here, and this is in the way. You can always clean this separately, but we need also to have access down there. So I'll remove it. With that out of the way, you can see we have more access to the engine bay. However, yes, we also have so much dirt here. We're going to blow it away, the loose one. And you can see there's been buildup of oil and dirt and more oil and dirt, and it's caked up all this place. So that's why we needed the solvent-based degreaser to be able to break down all this substance. Since we're going to be using solvent-based degreaser, I think it's only best that I get to remove the serpentine belt, because solvent-based degreaser is very harsh on rubbers. So to protect and give longevity to a serpentine belt, it is always safer, or it would be safer for me to remove it and before I get to spray it on. Just make sure you have in mind how the belt runs over the pulleys, so that when you put it back, it's easier for you to put it back. With that out of the way, we want to protect any sections that could potentially get harmed by water or water getting in there. I'll start off by covering this intake. We don't want water to get in here and get sucked up by fingers. Then I'll cover off the alternator as well. I'm going to just use a simple plastic bag. I'll just rip it on one edge so that I can dress it around the alternator. Sometimes you want to use a light colored one. Reasons being, at some point you may wash up your engine and forget, if it's a dark color, and you forget to pull it out. Before you know it, you're starting the engine and your pulleys are, you know, pulling this bag in all places you don't want it to go. Before you get to wash down your engine, it's always advisable to disconnect the battery, because you do not want anything shorting out in the process. So I'll go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal. That way we know there's no power being driven through into the car. I'll get some of this degreaser into a spray bottle. Why you want to use a spray bottle is because it's easier for it to be laid evenly all over the place. So I'll just pour this in here. So I'll go and spray degreaser on all the areas that have thick buildup. Oops. Areas with heavy buildup, we want this to go in there. As you can see, the solvent is breaking down the dirt, and slowly it is loosening, and we'll get to wash it down with water. So we'll just sit back and wait for another 5 minutes to 7, then we'll wash this down. So this is the point when I wish I had a jet washer, but well, I don't have one, so I just had to work with what I had. The garden hose was still good enough, so yep, there we go. As you can see, most of the grime has come off. The solvent has broken it down, and with water I was able to get most of it off. So next we're going to get our non-solvent degreaser to clean out the whole engine now, and agitate as much of the dirt out as possible to make sure that it all comes out clean. I went ahead and started spraying degreaser under the bonnet itself. Then after that, I ended up also spraying it over the engine bay itself. The reason that's why we're applying this is that we want to spray a layer of this onto the surfaces for another 5 to 7 minutes. Then later come back in with a brush and agitate the dirt in all the sections that are quite sticky. And of course, after that, we started moving section by section, scrubbing down with a large brush, trying to get the larger surfaces cleaned off easily. Then once that was done, we went ahead again with the water hose, and I started washing down the degreaser. So the whole idea is wash away all the degreaser, then later on try to brush down whichever section where the dirt was not moving off, agitating it further. You want to go through the tough spots with the detailing brush to agitate the remaining dirt out. Where the big brush couldn't reach, this one should do the job. We'll be handling sections at a time so that we can clean up one area before we wash it down and move to another. We don't want the degreaser to stay in here for a very long time. With one section at a time, we'll just spray down the degreaser. Then I'll just take my time, scrub every component that I felt had dirt on it with my detailing brushes. Of course, they're soft bristled, so they're not going to damage any surface. But section by section, taking my time, I say going through each of those while washing down with water, then further spraying more on, then scrubbing down with the brush, then washing off with water, just continuously doing that. Some tight areas I'm using this brush to reach. Areas I would probably not be able to reach with my normally. As Joe goes on with the cleaning under the hood, I would probably like to thank you for reaching at this point if you're still watching this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this video for other people to be able to see and learn more stuff. You could also go ahead and comment so that we can get to know what else you could have done better, or I could have done better in this workshop. And outside that, well, I'm just looking forward to making sure that this hood is clean. As some of you might have seen in one of my videos when I was cleaning out the AC system, yeah, the engine bay was dirty. If you haven't watched that video, it's right somewhere here or there. You'll just click it up there and be able to go there. Then just make sure you continue, subscribing to my channels and like my videos, and I'll be notifying you of other videos. We still have more stuff to do on this car, and thanks for watching. As we go on, continue enjoying as we try to wrap up this work. So we're blowing water out of all the corners that water shouldn't be settling in there. So we just get our blower in there to get this water out. We want to blow water far away, especially to those areas where we know there are connectors. Then we wipe down whatever is left. On the list was the intake scoop, definitely. So we sprayed on some degreaser, used a white tire brush to scrub down the white surfaces on this. Then further on added more, and I used my smaller detailing brushes to get into the small spaces where the big one couldn't go onto. And after that, of course, on the underside, I still had to do the same thing, scrub it with a bigger brush and the tinier brush. Then after that, had to wash down the whole thing with water. Using our water hose. Then of course, once that was cleaned, I went ahead and wiped it down so that at least we have it dry before we put it back into our clean and dry engine bay. We'll now go ahead and remove whatever we're using to protect our job or the internals of the engine from getting in water. So I'll start off by getting rid of this glove that I placed over the intake. And what I could do maybe is just wipe it down a little. Then we shall now remove the plastic bag that we placed over the alternator. Of course, we will need to wipe down the alternator just a little so that we are keeping it as close to clean without getting it wet as possible. Back goes the serpentine. Make sure that when you put back the serpentine, the ribs of the serpentine fall within the right grooves of the pulleys. Otherwise, you'll end up destroying your serpentine belt. We are going to start the engine just to dry up what is left of wetness within the engine from the heat that comes off from the engine itself. We'll now go ahead and reconnect the battery. Just make sure the thing is in there nice and tight. One final wipe down. This thing looks so clean. I could eat my cookies off it. After a whole day of work. Not a whole day, but a couple of hours. So there you have it. That's how you get to wash down your engine and keep it clean, keep it safe, and we'll be doing more jobs or more repair works on this car. Now with a cleaner engine bay, it's going to be very easy for us to trace where the oil leaks are coming from, because it does have some oil leaks, as well as also get less messy when we get to do the repair work. With that said, I would once again thank you for having watched this video if you've been watching it up to this point. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It's very helpful for the channel. And also click the notification button, because definitely there is more content coming through and you definitely want to be notified of it. If you like the video, go ahead and like it, and also share it with other people so that they may potentially learn one or two things from this. Without said, thanks a lot for watching the video, and adios.